Hello, my name is Dan Bloom, and I'm going to make a video, a screencast of the new technology that I tried out. So this is called Nearpod, and Nearpod is sort of an interactive presentation format that you can actually include websites and videos. It's something that a few teachers at my school, really just one teacher at my school, is very gung ho about. And I've seen her use it before, but I've just never tried it myself. And I'm happy to say that it's actually pretty easy to use. And what I did is I actually took one of my PowerPoint presentations and uploaded it. I did it as a Google Doc. It wasn't working as a PowerPoint for some reason, but the conversion between Google Doc and Nearpod is pretty good. And by Google Doc, I mean Google Presentation. I use the Google version. Um, so anyway, I'm going to share what this looks like so you can see. I don't know if I can share it with you in any other way. I'm still new to this, but I'm at least going to share this video so you can see what I've done. So I'm going to go down here to preview, and this is essentially what the students would see. There would be a code that I could put on the board, and all the kids could go to the website, put in the code, and then they would see what I have on my screen, and I can control it too. So I can, go to the next. If I go back and forth, that happens on their screens too. So they're sort of locked into whatever I'm doing, so I can maintain the pace here. And so this is just my title slide, and this is straight from the PowerPoint. But then the first change I made is here, which is like a matching question. So before I had a question on a slide, and I would have the kids kind of write their answers in the paper, but here they can do it, and I can actually get student data about how they do. So for instance, what is the rule of how nitrogenous bases in DNA connect with one another? So I know that A and T connect, and so it set it up randomly. So I need to click them, but let's just say I get it wrong. So say A and C. So it tells me that. So then I can try again, and now I see that's correct, and I can try with these, and yay, I did it. And it gives me some feedback. Then I can go to the next one, and here I'm asking the kids to apply what they learned in the previous lesson just to make sure they understand. It's also related to the previous question. But here, the answer is really easy for me to grade because it's supposed to be Gattaca, is complimentary. But they can submit that, and I again can see all the student responses, so I can see who gets it correct and who doesn't. So it's a really good way of getting formative feedback, formative assessment in there. And then I have sort of a discussion that I always like to do around texting, even though these texts are dated in themselves. But this is just, I have a nice discussion about codes because DNA acts as a code, so I want the kids thinking about that. So instead of just having a discussion, what I can do is over here have an opportunity for the kids to post what they want, and it's set up like post-it notes. So I could say, when and why do we use codes? And I might say, to keep secrets, and post. And my post-it is up there. And this would be on all the kids' screens, so they can see each other's, and they can also kind of like each other's, so that I can only like once. But so we can get a running tally of who likes what. When spies. They have code. So we can get a whole range of things and then have a discussion about the things the kids posted. So then some more notes. I would have to think about how I have the kids take notes. I still do like having them write down their notes, and this is something we could still do. They would just do it with their computers in front of them. Um, and then here's a great opportunity. This is a web page, so I can click on this, or the kids can click on this, and the website will pop up in another window. And this is sort of an animation that they can go through. Um, so they can kind of click through and explore this animation, which we're going to learn about on the next slides. But again, this gives them a chance to kind of interact with it before we do that. And then when we're ready, we can continue and we can start taking notes on all the content. So I'm going to skip through the content because I haven't changed any of this. And typically what I actually have sort of a physical handout that we work on while we go over this content as well, because there's a written component to this. So I didn't include that in this because I still kind of want that the way it is. But when they're finished going over this, there's actually a game that I found. So again, here's another website that I included. So they can click on this, and there's a game, and then they can play it. And this gameplay, I played it myself already. It gives them the same kind of background, but now they're applying what they learned to this. So they are going through this process of transcription and translation and going from DNA to mRNA to a protein. So it was a good activity for them to do. So I'm going to skip through this though. After that, I have a few more kind of review notes. I could change this up a little bit. This is still from how I had it as a PowerPoint. So, the going from a PowerPoint or a Google slide presentation to a Nearpod presentation is not super smooth, but that's something I could still tinker around with because it's a lot easier than I expected to do this. There's also this sort of checkpoint problem, which I could have made into a Nearpod version, but as you could probably see, the way the Nearpod questions are set up is not very easy to format, and I like the formatting of this. So I think I would still keep this and the answer the same way and have the kids try to do that. But then what I was able to do is then make a sort of review quiz. And so the questions here aren't perfect. I just wanted to do this for the demo. But, how does DNA get used to create protein? So I can answer the questions. And I'm assuming that I, as the teacher, would get their answers. But when I did this preview, I'm picking a wrong answer here just to see if anything will come up. But yeah, I did not get an answer for. So I'm not sure. I need to play around with this some more and try it out with kids. But with the quiz, I'm sure I get the feedback and how the students did, but I guess the students don't get that feedback right then and there, or maybe they do. Again, this is just sort of previewing. It would be a little different when there's an entire class of students doing this. This is just another version of an activity. This is a drawing one, so I can actually, as the student, draw a cell, and here's a nucleus, here's some ribosomes. I can make a text box and say, transcription. Let's make this smaller, and let's move it down here to the nucleus because that's where transcription happens. And then here we'll do translation, and we'll resize and move it over to the ribosomes because that's where that happens. So here's the I could have them do anything, but this is sort of a rudimentary response to what the prompt was, which was up here. So that's all I have right now. there's a paid version with a lot more features, but even this free version, there's a lot of freedom and a lot of interactive things that I could add into my presentation. So I thought this was a really neat format, and so that's what I wanted to share with you. Thank you.